So a very warm welcome to the first in this series of webinars organised by Writtle University College and Liberty Produce and sponsored by ERA. We're delighted that so many of you can join us. This is the first of 3 seminars over the next 3 months, aiming to bring together industry colleagues, alumni, students and innovators and anyone who's really interested in this subject to explore some of the key issues facing the sector today. So just to introduce myself, I'm Anya Perera. I'm Head of School of Sustainable Environments and Design at Writtle University College, and I will be facilitating this 1-hour session. I'm very, very pleased to be joined today by Dr. Dylan Banks, who's co-founder and knowledge director of Liberty Produce, and Dr. Susan McCallum, who is doing some important and groundbreaking research on blueberries for UK production at the Hutton Institute. This is a rare opportunity to share the work of cutting-edge technology innovators and researchers with a wider audience and to explore issues from a practitioner point of view.
Today, I'd like to talk to you about the combination of indoor and outdoor farming and how those combinations can allow for you as a farmer to produce more with less. We at Liberty started our journey by building a research and development centre that we've co-located at the Hutton Institute in Scotland, in Dundee. And in that facility, we have built a control system that allows for us to test at commercially relevant scales in terms of growing area and using the same technology and technology capabilities that operate at commercial scales, the various systems that one would need to grow indoor farming technologies. And ourselves, and in collaboration with our partners, we've been working out how to address the various challenges that indoor growers, as well as protected crop farmers, as well as broadacre farmers face, and understand how our technologies can help them. And so leading on to our collaboration with the Hutton Institute and our development and understanding about some of the value that can be brought about from the combination of indoor farming with traditional farming technologies, our work with Dr. Susan McCallum, who will talk to you in much more detail about her research, has been extremely fruitful for us. We have ourselves been able to show that we've been able to reduce germination times quite significantly. So by germinating within our facility, we've been able to reduce blueberry germination times from 10 weeks to 21 days. And this in of itself has led on to some commercial opportunities for us to develop and exploit our technology in this area that otherwise we wouldn't have known about without our collaboration with the Hutton Institute. And we wouldn't have been able to test, again, without our collaboration with the Hutton Institute. So key to what we've been able to achieve within the Future Farming Hub is engagement and collaboration, principally with the Hutton at this point. But of course, we are keen to engage more broadly and work with others in the sector. Next slide, please.
Our future direction is taking us very much towards controlled environmental agriculture, and this will allow us to look at speed breeding as a means to shorten the breeding cycle and increase genetic resources. So what we've been trying to do with our initial research with Liberty is how to break the annual cycle. Dylan showed a very nice picture in terms of the germination. And under current circumstances, when we do our breeding in the glasshouse, we do our crosses, and then it takes a long time for the fruit to develop, then we extract the seed, we germinate the seed. We can only ever do one of these things once a year. But working in a controlled environment, what we can potentially do is take things out of season. So we can do crosses and germination. Instead of once a year, we can do it twice a year. If we can speed it up even more and have plenty of room, we can potentially do it 3 times a year. And in order to meet the challenge of feeding a growing population, breeders and scientists have to find new ways to increase this genetic gain in the crop development. And the more generations you can do, and the more you can bring in diverse populations and look at novel or the plants that we're finding native, then the more you can increase this diversity. So this is a snow chaser blueberry that went into Liberty Produce last year. and they were able to germinate it so much quicker than us, 3 weeks instead of 10 weeks. They've looked at different ways of growing them hydroponically to develop the above ground shoot length as well as the below ground roots. So we've been doing a lot of studies now just to see how we can tweak the blueberry growth stages that little bit quicker, and making sure that we give the crops the right nutrients, which again, Dylan's already shown how much they can adapt that, making sure we get the good root growth and the good above ground. So hopefully when we then take that out to the field, we know that it's going to be a resilient crop and it's going to withstand the Scottish summers if we get such a thing. So what the future holds then for James Hutton Institute and Liberty Produce is hopefully developing new protocols for blueberry, raspberry and blackcurrant in order to develop this speed breeding. If we can adapt and perfect the light and the temperature regimes, we can increase the generation rates. And by increasing the generation rates, we're increasing diversity. The good news is the initial work that we've done with Liberty Produce has indicated that this will be feasible with soft fruit. So that's what we're working on now, and hopefully we'll have protocols out in the very near future.
Thank you both very much. That's a very fascinating story to be told about how the innovation and the technological research has fitted into a research program. I think that's it just showcases that when we all sit together and look at a problem, we can actually solve it if we think in a very integrated way. So please join us on our next webinar, which is on the 24th of February. Thank you all once again. We will leave you with a very short video, but until next time, we wish you a very pleasant evening.